so in the last video I showed you how I organised my tins of food so that I could clearly see how many of each I had, so I knew what to go to the supermarket to go and buy. So now I'm going to show you on my screen how to do that in a pictogram using pictures. I've got a simple table here that's got the tinned foods marked on and how many of each tin I have. So with the tomatoes, there were 5 tins of tomatoes. Now over on this side here I have a key. So each picture represents 2 tins. So I don't need 5 pictures because one picture is 2 tins. So if I copy and pasted that across, I've now got 2 tins of tomatoes. I need 5, so I'm going to go again to copy and paste and click it, and I'm just going to go Control C, Control V, and then I can drag it across. So now I've got 2 and 4 tins of tomatoes, but there were 5 in my previous video. So now I've got to use this same picture and try and find a way to use that picture to represent just one tin. So again, I'm going to Control C, Control V to just copy and paste it. I'm then going to double click it and I'm going to have this crop tool here, which I'm going to drag across to half of the tin. So that doesn't mean I've got half a tin of tomatoes, because the key has told me that one picture represents 2 tins, then half a picture represents 1 tin, because half of 2 is 1. So here I've got 2, 4, 5 tins of tomatoes. Now with the beans, I had 3 tins of beans, so I definitely need one of these. Control C, Control V to copy and paste the picture. So I've got 2. There were 3. If I were to go again, that would then make 4, which is too many. So I can't do that. So I'm now going to make another half. I'm going to Control C, Control V that image there. I'm going to drag it down, double click it, and I'm going to just adjust the cropping tool to make half a tin there. Just check my answer. So I've got beans, I've got 1, 2 and 3. Brilliant. The coconut milk, there were 2 tins of coconut milk. So I'm going to click the image, Control and C, Control V to paste it, and drag that in to the coconut milk. So I've got 2 tins of coconut milk. Now the chickpeas I only had 1 tin of. So again, I'm going to Control C, Control V to copy and paste that. Double click it for the cropping tool, drag it, crop it to half of it, and bring it down. Now, those of you in my normal maths class will have noticed that I've lined them up perfectly so they're nice and neat and look professional. Neatness in maths is really important because the more organised your work is, the easier it will be for you to see exactly what's going on. So I can now see very clearly that I've got more tomatoes than I have with beans or coconut milk or chickpeas. I can very clearly see I've got 1 tin of chickpeas, I've got 3 tins of beans there because of how I've laid it out. If I'd have laid it out all randomly, there's a possibility I would not be accurate when counting how many tins I had. So you'll get some questions about this data that you've put into Pictograms. Which tinned food do you have the most of? So we go back to my pictogram here, and because of how neat our data is represented, we can clearly see that we've got the most tomatoes. So I'm going to go here, double click this. I know this box is for me to type in because it's got a grey background and a red lining. Which tinned food do you have the most of? I have the most of tomatoes, full stop. Brilliant. Question 2. Which tinned food do you have the least of? Right, go back. Very clear that the least food tins I have are of chickpeas. Sorry, go back. The least tins I have is chickpeas, full stop. Question 3. How many more tomatoes do you have than chickpeas? How many more? So now it's asking me to look at the tomatoes and to compare it to the chickpeas. Now the tomatoes I had 5 tins of. The chickpeas I only had 1. It's not asking me to add them together, it's asking me how many more tomatoes did I have than chickpeas. So I know that if I count on from the 1 to 5, how many would I have to go? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I had to count on 4 times to get from 1 of the chickpeas to the 5 of the tomatoes. If I did 5, subtract the 1, I'd get the same answer, I'd get 4. So in here I can say, I have 4 more tins of tomatoes than chickpeas. Full stop. Excellent. Slide 3 here now. We've got an extra row down here of kidney beans. Same looking table, different data in there. Same key. Each tin is worth 2. So tomatoes I've now got 4. Beans I've got 3. Coconut milk I've got 2. And chickpeas I've got 1. The question down here is what's important. You have 4 more tins of kidney beans than you have chickpeas. How many tins of kidney beans do you have? Well, I'm going to use the table to find out that answer. So, first of all, what do I already know? Well, I do know how many tins of chickpeas I have because I've got that information in this table. I've got 1 tin of chickpeas. What don't I know? I don't know how many kidney beans I have. What's the clue? The clue is that I've got 4 more tins of kidney beans than chickpeas. So if I know I've got 1 tin of chickpeas, I need to now know what 1 and 4 more is. So 1 plus 4 would give me 5. So I'm going to put 5 tins into kidney beans here. Double click for the cropping tool. There we go. Line it up and put it on. So now, does that now make sense? If I move this chickpea here so that both of these tins are lined up, does it now look like there are 4 more? Well, there are 2 spaces here, and each space for each tin is worth 2. So 2, 4. So the kidney beans are 4 more. So I can prove it using the inverse. If I've got 4 plus 1 equals 5, then 5 subtract 1 must equal 4, which it does. So I know that I'm correct there. You have a couple of slides now where you have the opportunity to go and practice your skills of pictograms. If you need to, come back and have a look at my video here and play it as many times as you want. Make sure you're lining them up neatly. Make sure you're checking the key. That's the important part there. Checking the key at all times.